Welcome in. Pick an oak leaf tree. Wait, leaf. Why did I feel like I needed to say another word then? Oh, I guess I just swapped leaf with tree. Instead of saying oak tree leaf, I said oak leaf tree. I do kind of wish I could bring in an entire tree and be like, hey, pick this one. I guess I could do pictures, couldn't I? I could take a picture of 3 different trees. Or several number of trees. Maybe I'll do that. Cool. Okay, there could be a bit of like ideas coming in for this collective. I also feel called to mention I have selenite out as well as aquamarine, but I'm not using them for the piles. Okay, pile number 1 is this large oak leaf. I was almost gonna say it again. I was almost gonna say tree. Oak tree leaf. Pile 2 is the kind of cluster of 4. I think it's 4. I would say so. Ooh, that one's like really new. And pile 3 is this one. Slap. Okay. I'm in indecision. I wonder if there's indecisiveness here, because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to tell you about a little tidbit about each one here in the pile selection to make it easier for those of you who weren't sure, or if I should just wait and say it in the piles. Now I suddenly feel the pressure of like, okay, what I do now really matters. So I wonder if there's some sort of like, I heard power pressure. That's kind of cool, power pressure. You feel a sense of power, and that your decisions hold weight. I'm seeing the butterfly effect and just getting that image of like one thing that you do can change the course of all of existence. Well, every single thing you do changes the course of everything, kind of, depending on how you define change, but I'm gonna say the things in the piles. Cool. Okay, there we go. See, it'll just come on its own. Okay, see you there. There's no collective today. Or is there? Ooh. No, there's not. Can you see that? Is that in the shot? Yes. So I shall move it further out. I kind of wanted to say further along. Move along on your merry way. Merry-go-rounds. Okay. I should drink water. I haven't drank water for a while. That's making me think of dry fasting. Oh, welcome in, pile 1, because I'm wondering if this has to do with your reading. I was about to start just talking. I was wondering about dry fasting. I wonder if that is to do with this. Going without water. I haven't done that before. I've done water fasting a lot, but okay, the energy that I'm in for this is ordinarily I'd be like, yeah, I'm so excited, I want to do it. But in this case, I don't. So there could be somewhat of a situation where ordinarily you feel like you would want something, but how you're feeling or just what you're thinking in this particular situation is that it's more of a no. Okay. The first thing I got from your large oak leaf, which was the first one that I picked up, not intending to do a reading, I just like picking up leaves. And my first like instinct, actually not first, we'll get to that. Okay, so we're focusing not on the first part, but on what comes later. So what came later, or like middle groundly, was me like lining up my fingers to do a high five with it. It's like it looked like I was gonna say a face. Maybe something looks like a face. Maybe there's a familiarity. Whoa, that's a hard word to say. Familiarity. Familiarness. Well, that's such a much more easy way word. So there's something about like taking the easy way possibly out, or just taking the easy way with this. Because I'm seeing that with the like dry fasting versus water fasting too. Even though there's like a simplicity that dry fasting has, because I don't have to think about it. Maybe this has to do with like something you wouldn't need to like get to know more. Maybe it's a situation where you already know what you'll get. Maybe it's a particular comfort, or just like it's like it's no more than what it is. Like you don't have to be so deliberate because you're just cutting out on everything. But it's less, I'm wanting to say in this energy, it's less nourishing. Where's the water? There's something about how this is a new leaf. Like it's large, but it's very like flimsy and still like, yeah, new, possibly sensitive. And yet it has fallen. But also something about like seeing the veins more clearly. This could have to do with palmistry. Like this would be something that created new lines in your palms. Maybe that's something to note here. There was something about how I didn't want to mention that it was a new leaf. I was thinking I'll save that for later though. Oh, my throat like clogged up at that part. So maybe that's something, maybe you're feeling like later isn't something you're resonating with. There's like an excitability to this pile that isn't being expressed. And I feel like that is coming from a sense of protection and valuing oneself, or like a sense of self-respect. That's what it feels like. And interesting that it's like, there's something about that high five. Let's get a character card. I keep feeling like I know everything that's going on, so you may feel very aware. But I'm finding it a little bit hard to navigate, or it's not like it's hard to navigate. I think it's more like, it is that, but I'm wanting to say it's not, so that could be something here too. But it's like I'm wanting to like not need more. It's like even if things don't fully click, or it's like a feeling of my brain is feeling a bit disoriented, or like suddenly my brain has shifted a lot, and that's causing like difficulties in some way. The truth is feeling like I don't actually need to be knowing all those like definitions. What's another way of phrasing that? Plans. Like not needing to know all the plans to know exactly what you've felt called to doing, or what you do feel called to doing, or like a how. I just heard something along the lines of like, how now, brown cow? I don't remember what that's called, what that phrase is. I also do feel quite like flustered, or like heart beating energy. My heart isn't actually doing that, but I feel like I'm looking everywhere and a bit anxious. But that's the thing. I think that you might be like thinking that that's how you're feeling, thinking that you're more anxious than you are. Because again, with me, like sometimes or always, like I'll be able to feel the energy in my body, but I'm not feeling that, but I'm thinking that I'm feeling that, or like that's the energy that's here, but it's not the emotions. It's like, you could describe it as riding the waves, but I don't think that applies here somehow. Yeah, I kind of feel like you don't need more, even though, how do I explain this energy? I feel like you fully feel in control, but a part of you thinks that you're not, or that you don't. But I feel like there's such like a divine feeling about where you're currently at. You feel very knowing, or it's not like the kind of knowing where it's like, yes, I can see all the pieces and how they slot together. It's a feeling of like, my knowing is more my own trust in self to be in alignment with my own path. Maybe some of you do feel like you see loads of the puzzles clicking into place, but I think that that's not really the feeling, because maybe you had those puzzle pieces click into place before, but now it's like a feeling of embodying what comes next. It's a feeling of like feeling that like palmistry, palm lines analogy of them changing. It feels like you're starting to see the lines on your hands actually change. Like your body's sensations are like readjusting, and you're feeling that, and it's quite blissful. There might be like mischievous energies around you, and it's like even like Hakase here, I feel like they're not bothering you, and it's like an excitement. Possibly some of you are leaving them, or there's a new relationship formed with them, or just a sense of like maybe you know something they don't, and you maybe it's like a feeling of like up-leveling. I wouldn't usually use that term, but it feels so fitting here. It's a feeling of like now you're like possibly in the same actual situation, but you have matured, or you have a completely new like relationship with that, and it's one that makes you feel proud, perhaps, or I heard something along the lines of like glamour could be significant. I feel like you're feeling good. Okay, so we have Himemori, Luna, and Hakase. Yeah, I feel like you feel special. And like things aren't affecting you. Or like they actually are affecting you, but in maybe the opposite way to what either would have happened in the past, or than others expect, or than maybe even you expected. There's literally is this Hakase feeling of hee hee hee. And then we have Tsuyo Sama, Sleepy Princess. It's a feeling of like determination, like you're off on your way, like I'm seeing you like walking forwards in stride and kind of like nodding your head, like yes like yes, happy about this, or maybe also like ready for this, yes. I feel like there is somewhat of like a strong destiny or destined feeling here that you feel very attuned to. I'm gonna get some runes for you. Some of you may feel like this high five is to or from certain beings. We have Urus. That's a determined energy. Oh yeah, I had kind of like brushed off the fact that this was an oak tree leaf. With that steadiness, that groundedness. There's a sense of protection here too, but it's, I'm kind of wanting to say it's a protective energy in, like that it's just in its element. It's like a raw power here. You feel very, I heard the word adjusted. You feel very adjusted. I also want to say adjusted to yourself. Perhaps some of you would relate that to adjusted to your morals, or line of work, or perhaps a calling. And anything can call you, so it's like, what is calling you? And I think that is what you're feeling. In alignment with the being called by something that you feel so happy to be called by. Whether that be like your own soul, or more specific than that, or I don't want to give examples. We also have Wunjo. Oh, joy! Maybe joy is calling you. I love that, the spirit of joy. I feel like there's a... I heard the word there's a thirst. And interesting, the phrase that was then coming to mind was a thirst for knowledge, but it felt like perhaps that's what you would have had in the past, or that's like a side benefit or something. What this feels like is like a thirst... What is that? I heard thirst granted. I really like that. It makes me want to start an oracle deck with quotes and begin the first one, thirst granted. I'm hearing one more rune. Okay. I heard overkill. Perhaps there's a feeling of like getting more than you had wanted. Like, not that it's too much, but you're just getting a lot of something that you like. Perhaps joy, a lot of joy. There's a feeling of fullness that I don't want to use the word fullness for, but maybe you resonate with that term. Also, this is the word... Oh no, it's Raido. Okay, interesting. Movement forward, change. That feeling of like the chariot, you're that walking forward with your head nodding feeling. Like making progress, and that it's not even... It's not like happiness because you're looking in the direction of something you like, or you're going to get something that you like. It's literally you feel in the present moment so in tune with yourself that it feels just so good to be where you're at in that movement seat. There's something about how I really wanted to mention for you the design. Well, it's not really like my ego wanted, but spiritually I felt called to, because I had the thought of mentioning the desire to create a certain oracle deck. I think it was a random idea that came in this reading, but then I just brushed off. And then it like forced its way through with that quote thing. And I was like, okay, I'll listen. And that's the feeling that I get with the... I was going to say the abundance rune. What's it called? Fehu rune. Because it's a feeling of gratitude. It's a feeling of... It's whole and full, but I don't like using that term here. I'm not sure why. Because I think those feel a bit too objective or abstract, and this energy feels so personal. It feels... I heard the word trusting, but I didn't fully hear that word. And I quite like that, because it's a feeling of that wholeness, but it's like not quite. It's... And not in a like a less than or like dissatisfying way. In like a triangle way instead of a circle way, or or a circle way, or oval way instead of a square way. I like working through shapes. Some people will be like, I get it. Just through those ones. It's like sleeker eyebrows instead of like bushier eyebrows feeling. It's almost like the feeling of a bushy eyebrow. Well, I'm seeing a white feather outside. Oh my god. I've never seen... It's literally got caught in... Okay, I just have to open my window in case it floats in, because that's crazy close. Where'd it go? Oh, that was beautiful. I guess we can just keep the window open for bird sounds now. I love the feeling of the sound of birds, like in the evening when it's like starting to get dark but still light. It's like they haven't settled down yet. Or they feel so much more like I can hear them more. Like it's more specific somehow. It's the feeling of like colour, the sound of singing against grey instead of against black or white. It's a feeling of like a softness that somehow makes it more apparent. It's like, this is a feeling of like, because something doesn't like click into place, it allows it to rest on, like the puzzle pieces don't click into place, so they rest on top of one another, and that's, so like you can feel it more. That's a cool way of, that's a cool thing. And even then, that expression, it's like I wasn't saying a complete sentence that can be boxed in and closed off. It's a feeling of maybe what can life offer, or it's a feeling of like, when I look at this thing that I love, I'm imagining the Oracle deck example. When I look at this thing I love, I don't see it as myself, and that just makes me love it even more. It's a feeling of like a relationship. Oh, this is just making me think of a particular card in my deck. The clone card. It's a feeling of, because I don't merge with this, I get to see it, I get to view it outside of myself. How else do I word this? That just made me think of the word rune that I had mistaken the Rider rune for. What does that mean? It's a feeling of like, instead of being entangled, or instead of it being fated, it's more of a choice. It's more of like I'm outside of the road. It's like a feeling of, instead of being in the earth, you're on top of the earth. And so you get to experience earth more objectively, as opposed to more immersed. It's just a different kind of gratitude or pleasure. It's an expansive feeling without, I don't know without what. It also is interesting because I'm looking outside and seeing the clouds, but it's almost like they're not clouds, and it's almost like they blend into the sky. And the analogy I was just using before, it would have fit more to say it's like a cloud that is like, you can really clearly see the shape of, so the definition is more apparent compared to the sky. But I'm actually being drawn into, no, it's not that feeling. It's the feeling of the blended sky. The blended sky with the cloud, so you can't really tell the difference. I don't know how that fits, because it's the opposite of what I was saying before, and with that there was a big motorbike sound. How does that fit? And I'm suddenly seeing the like dirt in this leaf, not tree, leaf. Oh, maybe there's something in that. It's like, why is this not the tree too? Whoa, I'm holding a tree. I love that. I want to say something along the lines of, that's how you feel, or that's what you are. That's what you're embodying. That's your embodiment. Okay. That's how I'm going to leave your reading, pile number 1. I kind of feel slightly that it created more questions than answering them. And I like that, because I think that is the answer. feel like I need to say something because I can feel some of your brains, not everyone's, but some of your brains are like, no, that it's like I can tell. It's a feeling of like, I can tell that you are reading my energy, my situation, but you didn't give me the answer that I was trying to get at. It's like not quite there yet. And I saw like the center of the spiral. If you could take this energy and spiral it around and keep going in and in and in, where would it take you? Without trying to attach with your mind. Would you know that this energy is inviting you into? If you could step back out and see your life clearly. I love that. if you could see your life clearly. But it's true. Things are simple like this. We can intend to see things more clearly and then just see them more clearly because of that simple intention. And I think this part of the reading for you is the question of what are you intending? What would you like to intend for? Some of you, that kind of took you into some of you, I feel like it's splitting off. But like it continues to split off. Maybe that's relevant too, continuing to split off. But some of you took that and went lighter, but some of you went like way darker, like, oh no, it's like that just makes it worse, or like that just takes me deeper into that spiral of not knowing. And from that, I feel like honestly, with that energy, I feel like seeing the energy you're in as lacking light or lacking clarity would help, because then you can do something that kind of isn't about this situation to bring lightness through. It feels like a more mundane thing, like I'm being really drawn to outside, the fresh air, or maybe like fresh fruit and vegetables, or water, something that feels like it unburdens you, so that you can see what the further path of unburdening would be, if unburdenedness is something that you're after. Following the trail of lightness bit by bit and seeing what parts of you get tugged in that process. Tugged for releasing or tugged forwards. Yes, okay, I'm going to end it there. Bye-bye! For some of you, I want to show the hackers here. Not as an answer to you, just from about my energy to you. Some of you, it's like when you're trying so hard to seek, it makes it much harder. Okay, yeah, I will stop continuing to try with that, which just feels like the same message. Okay. Bye, your lofty too. I want to close the window for Pal too. Do we switch the light on? No, we don't. Welcome in, Pal 2. There could be a lot of movement going on, or maybe that energy of like decisions from the collective at the start. If we're calling that a collective, yes, we are. I am. Maybe that energy of decisions is particularly important for you, or maybe there's just a lot surrounding change, because I was like kind of starting before I was settled down for your pile. I also said something before that felt like a message for you, but I've forgotten. Maybe that's relevant here too. Like having known something before, but then forgetting. Or being sure, but then being presented with more energies that then created like a change of... Oh, now what, actually? Okay, we have... I feel a bit all over the place. Isa. Oh, interesting. That's the opposite of change. It's stillness, stagnancy, ice. And Kenaz, which is a torch. I kind of don't want this rune, so that's interesting. Laguz. I feel like you see the way out of stagnancy. You see the change being asked to make. Does that make sense? You see the actions that you're feeling called to take that would create a change out of stagnancy. And I think it calls for a certain emotional cleansing. It's a feeling of like healing. And I think perhaps there's a resistance to that. I do want to say, if you felt called to pile 3, ooh, suddenly I don't want to say like that could be synchronistic for you. And my right eye started hurting. Some of you could be like back in energies that you had once shifted out of. You might be in a darker space that you thought that you were over. Maybe there are certain energies that you thought you were healed from. I think maybe communication is difficult for you. I feel like I don't have the right things to say, maybe. It's not really having the right things. What is this energy? It's a feeling of it being hard to speak, quite painful, and it's making me find it harder to formulate thoughts. It's like the way I'm speaking is less intentional, less clear. It's not even less clear, it's more... It's without thinking. It's like speaking without thinking, but maybe that causing pain. I think that's the part that you're not wanting to look at, perhaps. I'm not fully feeling that, though. Okay, let's see how these are in shot. I think this has has a lot to do with your emotions. We have whale, shark, and humpback whale. The first thing I wanted to get for you was number cards, but I decided to do animals first. We have 21. Oh, I thought that was going to be 12. It's like I thought it was 21 for a moment, and then I realised, oh, it's 12. But then it went back to 21, which goes with the energy I was saying of, like, you thought that you had, like, moved out of something, but actually you're feeling more stuck. I'm hearing that's it. Okay. 87 is at the back of the deck, and 8 wants to show 2. I feel like this is highlighting a feeling of powerlessness you feel. I'm not sure if these are wanting to come out. I think no. Oh, but back of the deck is Lifeline. A healer. Goodness, words are hard here. Yeah. This is the deck I'm wanting to use for you. And I'm going to take a drink of water. I've eaten too much peanut butter, my throat is all croggly. But can one really eat too much peanut butter? That's the real question. Will we get the peanut butter card from this? There is one. I wonder if often you're more light-hearted, but you're not being called into that energy. Or maybe something about light-heartedness that hurts. There's a feeling here of, like, not wanting to think about it. It's not really... Yeah, I think it maybe is not wanting to think about it. Ah, this is a really hard thing to understand. I think that's how you're feeling. But it's not even. I think things are clear. I think you think they're clearer than they are to you. And that's why maybe there are parts of you that feel like unheard, or like you can't get over something, or that things are not making sense in accordance with your feelings or what you know to be true. Because because I think there's like a truth that you do feel in alignment, but you also feel quite set aside, or I heard the word abstract, but I don't, and that does fit actually, especially with humpback whale and whale shark. Okay. Yeah, I feel a bit in your energy like I don't know how to feel. Like I'm trying to think about what I feel instead of feeling. I think like a part of you, this right card, is very excited. And I noted that this card actually came in reverse, which feels like there's a mirroring love here, but actually putting it in reverse, this is interesting. Putting it the way that it came through, which is in reverse, possibly a feeling of, I'm not going to say that. Okay, I think it'll make sense. You'll know how it applies for you. The love or romance, I'm saying love in reverse, it's like that's what was presented to you, but actually what fits things into place and feels like it creates a sense of ease with you and possibly excitement too. Although I feel like the first thing is a healing energy is when you put it upright, because then see this line, like it flows into one another. I think there's a feeling of confusion that comes when you try to identify with the previous version of yourself. I feel like who you know yourself to be. How do I word this? I saw a bird flying a little forwards and then to the right a lot. You feel very, very connected in some way. And I think that maybe causes disorientation, or makes you feel a bit more jumbled. You might feel like caught in between, like caught in the middle, not sure whether you fall back or fall forwards. I think maybe you're in an energy where it's like you feel very different, you feel your soul more, and yet like your body's natural like automaticness goes back to who you used to see yourself as. And I think there's like a bit of a readjustment phase going on for you. You're naturally starting to lean more forwards, more into a lighter energy. And I feel like maybe that lightness is a bit disorienting or a bit unpredictable or a bit, yeah, I think that fits here a lot. There's a feeling of lightness, feeling unpredictable, and that being that like little excitement feeling I was getting, or maybe a lot of excitement. I think you just might be unsure if you're like allowed to feel into that or not. I think maybe you are used to trying to decide with your mind how you feel, as opposed to allowing yourself to fully lean into more of like a visceral knowing, as opposed to like a grasping of the knowing with on maybe I do want to say, if parts aren't fitting for your reading, just take the parts that are, because I feel like there could be, I don't even know what to say about that part. I just feel like there's a lot of like specifics to this situation. So if I'm not directly saying the things that apply for you, then trust your own direction. I think that could be what a lot of this is talking about for you. Trusting your own direction, trusting what you're inspired towards. This Kenna's rune is making me think of like the small light that is melting the ice. It's not like a huge change, or it's not like immediate, like it's a torch. I'm seeing it more like a torch trying to melt like an iceberg, and little by little it will. Oh, that's interesting, because after the torch melting the ice comes the legumes, which is water, which is emotion. And I wonder if, and the humpback whale and whale shark at the back of the deck, they require water, not ice. I feel, and that's that feeling of like coming home to your natural essence. I wonder if you're naturally very emotional, but you had been numbed for a while, or in chaotic of an energy that didn't really fully allow you to feel, or that you didn't want to feel because maybe there was a lot of pain surrounding that. And maybe that is what I keep saying, resistance, or wanting to say that's what a part of the resistance to feeling was, but I don't actually feel that resistance, so I'm a little confused. Let's kind of ask. I kind of like that energy here, kind of. Yeah, that's what I was saying also with like, if parts fit, take the parts that fit, but it's okay if not everything is fitting. There's that kind of feeling. I think that is invigorating. We have purple moonstone. There's so much intuition here. There's a strong sense of, how do I say that? I think there's a strong gut knowing you have. I feel like there's a lot that could distract you or take you off course in some way. And what you're feeling like is honing on the thing that... What is that? Like the center. This is kind of the image I was getting actually, but not with leaves. I was getting an image of like a lot of different leaves here. I'm not trying to explain the image. Pain, words. Look at all these leaves. Many of them there are. And they all go down into this center. And that's the feeling of what I felt you were feeling, like your gut was calling you into. That center that feels away from all the noise. That gut knowing, that gut feeling. Yeah, I like that. It's leading a trail. It's on both of them. They're mirroring. Oh, that's really interesting because it's... Oh, the placements of that feel so fitting. It's kind of mirroring, but not mirroring. It's like they're the same. Like mirroring can feel like opposites, but this is like... I don't know how else, or what else to say other than they're in the same position. The droplets. You might be feeling overwhelmed, but I'm not actually feeling that from you. I was just seeing that. Maybe often you're overwhelmed, but you're not currently. Is your energy just quite hard to get at? There's a feeling of non-attachment that is definitely here. I feel like you're in a feeling of like you can finally breathe. And the air feels both familiar and very different. Yeah, there is like a... I'm kind of seeing a chaoticness on two sides. And I kind of feel like you're, like I said, in the middle again. I feel like the fact that you chose pile 2 is quite significant. There is a middle feeling. You're in between. And I feel like you are a little bit in between what feels like two sides of chaos, but one feels exciting and one feels like... It's a bit exciting, but in a different way. They both feel a little dark and a little light in different, in like the opposite ways. Both sides of the chaos. I feel like you feel a sense of confidence. I feel like you feel ready to... Readiness has been coming through a lot as of late. I was just looking over at the camera to see if it was getting too dark to not have a light yet, but it felt fine, which is interesting. Feels like it fits with the Kenaz rune. I feel like you feel like more relaxed than you have for a long time. That's the energy I'm getting. I'm feeling like surprised to be so relaxed. Yeah, it's a bit of a feeling of like looking around like, is this really real? Yeah, it's a bit of a disbelief feeling. Some of you, that's very emotional for you. Others of you are more in the light-hearted energy. Like a sparkliness. Okay, I'll use this deck. I saw fairies. And I have a fairy card in it. Yeah. It could be something about placement, because I feel like I don't know where to put my deck anymore. It's like I have so much room on my table, and I think this is how you're feeling, or your situation. I have so much room on the table, and yet because of how spread out I've made everything, like my mind is viewing it like I don't have enough room. But it's so, I could so easily make room. It's just a little painful to look at the power I have to do that. Okay. That was simple. Yeah, there's a feeling of it's there if you want it to be. If you choose that that healing energy, I think. But I also feel called to bring in, like, not an energy of pushing, but of relaxing into that state of, well, relaxation. I think that's the best word that I can think of that fits. Okay, for pile 2. I think intention could be important, or you know what it is? It's that feeling again I said of like, feels somewhat familiar but also new, because I said like for pile 2, and I think that's something I used to say ages ago for getting cards, but I haven't done that for ages, so it felt a little nostalgic, or a lot nostalgic actually. Maybe it depends. Maybe it's varying degrees for all of you. I really want to express the words being so stumbly in this energy. It's quite like, how do I explain it? It's like I like it. And it makes me happy. But I'm also a bit wary about it. Okay. I think that will be for some, but not everyone. I just want to clarify and include everyone's energy in that. Okay, so we have gnomes and maple. How much room is there on the... Oh, we have way more room. Oh, it is looking a bit darker now, isn't it? Is it not? Darkness has become me. I wanted to say, just start singing lonely. I am so lonely. We have present at the back of the deck. On my own. Oh, that really hurt my ego to do. Could there be something about that here? A hurt ego? I wasn't expecting that. Like, my face is literally going red now. And I want to express how I wouldn't always do that. I feel, or maybe I would, but I guess I wouldn't have done that in any reading. Or like, I don't know. I feel like this is your energy. Because I can kind of, I feel like, depending on the energy, choose whether I'm confident or not. And in this, I feel really embarrassed. Gnomes also, it's like the redness is coming to mind. Because, you know, all gnomes are red. What is there to say on that? Well, some of you, that's really emotional. Because I think maybe it's taking you to... Oh, this is hard to read also because there's different groups of you experiencing this energy in a different way. But for those of you that really hit that feeling of embarrassment, because it feels like it takes you into, I heard childhood neglect of, it's a feeling of like shame of self-expression, which, oh my goodness, that goes with all the difficulty in speaking that I've said that I have here. And then I did like a singing, and that was what was embarrassing. So maybe some of you find your expression to be a point of shame or trauma. Maybe you've been put down for the way you speak or what you speak. And there's an energy of allowance. Allowing yourself to process that. Allowing yourself to see that. To feel that. Okay. Yeah, it's even interesting that I'm picking up on your energies, which are all feeling very different in this reading. Like, some readings, or a lot of readings, there'll be a common wave of how people are taking what I'm saying, and the energies I express then creates different like ripple effects that I'll feel, and mostly it's all like one wave. But with you, it's like I'm seeing 4 different waves, and it's like, okay, which one do I even read? So maybe that's how you're actually feeling. Maybe that's more of, I think it's both. It's like that's what I'm picking up on, and that is a part of the singular message for you singulars too, for everyone. It goes very well with the multiple oak leaves, and not just multiple, but multiple different sizes and shapes too. Colorations. Let's see if there's a character card that wants to come out. Maybe this is also... Maybe you also, like, your emotions are in a state of, like, up and down a lot, because we had that feeling of, like, change from the very beginning, not feeling settled, and I wonder if that is very much your emotional state too. I think there's like a... how do we word that? There's a freshness. This could be a fresh wound that you're dealing with. it feels like the more you grow, the more the wound like aches, or the more you feel it. I think this is somewhat of like a continual feeling of readjusting, and with each readjustment there's a sting to it, because it's all circling around the same core root pain of where this feeling of possibly for a lot of you shame comes from. So we have Ota and Renge. Let's get another animal card to pop out. Ota is making me think of responsibility, like acting in a way that feels like rightness. Possibly like carrying heavy burdens. Maybe there's something to be said about like looking at the sweeter side of life, and maybe you were taught to not be okay with it. This is so abstract. I was just getting the words certain desires or certain parts of yourself, and I wonder if there's something in me kind of complaining or saying about how that was so abstract of a message. Not abstract, it just, I could see, or I felt, and this is message too, I could feel how like there wasn't one thing that was relevant for all of you, and I think this might not even be true, but it's the energy that keeps occurring in your reading. Like it's not for everyone, or you are very particular. Yeah, maybe that clicked something in. Do I turn the light on yet? I will in a little bit. So we have resonance, we're the same. Yeah, there's that sameness energy. Orca whale. Oh, I said whale. It is an orca whale, but it just says orca. Yeah, maybe you're feeling like there's more to the picture. Like you're seeing more, but those words aren't written. Like the whale part is known to you, but it's not formed. Then we have free flow. There's a lot about shifting. This resonance card, it feels like what you're doing. It feels like a readjustment, because the way I see it is a way that my brain currently is finding like it's too hard for me to say it. So maybe that's how you're feeling. Okay. Which way do I take it? I think I take it both ways. That could be relevant for you too. I think I take it both ways. What I'm feeling is like there's a fixation of sorts, and that fixation is what's pulling you away from old tethers and into new tethers, or into new directions, into new energies that you resonate with. Okay, I'm gonna turn the light on, not because I'm actually ready to do that, just, well, I am ready to do that, but because this is really hard to this is hard to be in, this energy. It's hard to express. It's not that the energy is hard to be in, that's the interesting thing. I mean, it is a little, but I'm fine with that. The part of this energy that's difficult is the expression. Oh, I should get sacred geometry for you. Maybe not, maybe. Are you in that? Like, maybe not. Click. And second click. That's not plugged in. It needs to be plugged in at the source. Yeah, even that I just did, was clearing my throat, but I walked away to do it so that you wouldn't hear it so strongly, which is, I think, just your energy of not wanting certain parts of yourself to be heard. I think hearing, like speaking, is very relevant here. There's a lot of sweetness that wants to come through. I'm seeing that in the purple of this, but also from Maple and Ota. This character likes sweets. Oh, and even Renge. I'm thinking of Dagashia or there's a candy store that they go to. I'm wanting to say something along the lines of even the sweet store is sweet. Like it's a sweet store. Doubling down. I'm gonna get another rune. That made me think of gambling, and there's a Pathor rune in this which makes me think of gambling. This one like didn't want to come out. There's a lot of your stuff that is like yes, no, maybe so. This is Ewaz, a rune of partnership, also horse. I saw actually 3 horses on my walk today. We have Thurisas, but one of them was in a field alone, and then the other 2 were in a field together. We have Jara. And it felt, okay, there's something about this. And Awaz. There's something, oh, there's more, okay. There's a lot that comes after the first processing, the first, like, healing stage. And Sowilo. Sowelu, I'm wanting to say in this moment. I'm not sure why. Maybe some of you just like that way. There could be something about, like, ideals. Like, getting the preferred way. Or dreams, maybe. North is, and I feel like I'll just keep getting all of them now. Tewaz. Interesting, I'm saying it the way that I wouldn't usually, but that is actually what feels so juicy and satisfying and perfect in this energy. So there could be something for you about it's not the normal way for you, but it's the way that just like unquestioningly feels right. If you're questioning it, that's not the part I'm on about. Yeah. I wouldn't usually do that. I really wouldn't. Really? No, I really wouldn't. Talking with oneself? That could be something. Okay, there's something about the horse walk. I feel like a horse walk? That sounds like a thing. It's like the raven hop, but a horse walk. Okay. So there's something about how I went on my walk earlier and this is, again, it's like something I didn't plan to do, but did. Within the walk I had intended to go on a specific route, but then when I got to that junction, I saw the left turning and I was like, ooh, I just want to go down here instead. So I went down there and then I ended up seeing 2 horses, and that was like, it felt like a very synchronistic experience for me. And then on my way back I saw a little ladybird and I sat down on the load. I was a cross between the road and lane and just stared at the ladybird. And that brought, that I feel like that is to do with this, because there was a lot of like healing that I felt came from that, or just some, I guess. Clarity is what I want to say. Clarity on parts of myself that I felt a resistance to. I guess I'll express that too, because maybe that is to do with this. I'm hearing it's not relevant, but I can say it. Sometimes, okay, that feels significant, because I was just gonna be like, sometimes I don't even remember now. Something along the lines of, sometimes I love the openness of like, I get to choose. Yeah, this so fits this energy. Sometimes I love the openness of I get to choose, but in this case, I kind of wish my guides would have just like told me, like, tell me what to say, or tell me if something is right or wrong. So I wonder if that's the energy you're feeling in, and that you're shifting through, working through, processing. Okay, let me look at these runes. Okay, actually, before that, I think I can look at the resonance now. So I saw this going both ways, which goes with that middle energy, because I was seeing it like you raising your standards is what I heard, and felt a resistance to saying, so maybe that's something you have a resistance to. Raising your standards feels like it ruffles feathers in that like chaotic side of one part, or just in your surroundings in some way. You choosing something that you want feels like it creates like animosity surrounding you in certain areas, and that's what the resonance speaks to in that case, because this card is like a feeling of wanting oneness, and so if others feel like you are higher and they don't feel like they have the power to reach that same level of height, then there's a desire to pull down that which is high, that they're wanting connection with in order to have connection. So that feels like one side of it, and then the other side of it feels like you readjusting to that which you're wanting, the lightness, which is then you, that raising of you. Then it's just a ladder, a steps, a staircase. I will draw that because I feel like that could be helpful for a visual. You know what, I won't, because it's too far to lean. What? I'm gonna do that. Is that what you're feeling? It takes a lot of effort. A lot. Maybe you're viewing it as taking a lot of effort and deciding if that's worth it or not. Okay. I literally just want to draw something so simple. It's like, this is what you're going after, and the decision that you're going after that. It's like you began as friends. This doesn't have to be to do with friends, but in connection with energies on this step. And then you deciding that actually you are the same as this step. This thing that you're wanting up on this step makes you climb to the next step. And then on to the next step. But the first initial decision just goes up one step, and that is when you feel the tug of the former We Are the Sames, who either, like, for some of them maybe they come up to the steps with you, but others of them don't feel like they can jump up, so they choose not to. So then it's them wanting to pull you back down so that you can be together. Okay. There could be something surrounding travel or adventure, or it's more of a calling feeling of like a I don't know what that energy is. And now I'm trying to analyze what that part of this energy is now. I'm wanting to snap my pencil There's a pencil I love. I don't want to snap it. Maybe you're frustrated with those you love. Maybe for some of you that's yourself. I felt for a lot of you it was more of an external source, or that which would be more perceivable as outside of yourself. It's interesting, it's like there's two sweetnesses that came out in one page, in one cluster together, but of Ota and Renge, and I put them so far apart. But look, you can't see it when it's under the orca, but Renge is waving. Hey, look at me! And Ota is like wanting to wave or about to wave, but not really doing it. He's got his slanted arm. I wonder if that's you with your desires. Like, desires are calling you, like, come on! And then you being close to reciprocating, but not fully going for it. Okay, so we have these runes. What are those called? Okay, let's these called these. Yeah, integration feels like what's going on for you. Yeah, it feels like you have a journey ahead of you. I keep being drawn to the whales and their knowing of where to travel. Or I don't even know what it is. Maybe that is what your experience with this is too. But there's like a sense. It's like I'm not seeing like direct paths. I'm seeing like a tingling in the water. Ooh. We have throat chakra. Okay, I'm happy that that came out. And back of the deck is heart chakra. The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. I wonder if you've been made fun of for your voice, or for your speaking style, or if you were just made to feel less than surrounding communication. Possibly heartfelt communication. Maybe it's not every kind, but it's when it gets to certain emotions or certain types of expression. Soul time is popping out. Maybe more soulful connection, or something more to do with like the core. Okay, so the actual one that came out was throat chakra. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. I wonder if some of you have really fast minds. I was getting more of the break in speech, but I read that really fast and then my mind had to go back to sense. It's like I had read supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance, but I had to pause because my mouth hadn't got to the end yet. My mouth was still at sense when my brain had finished reading it. So maybe that is a part of the problem or the difficulty. I feel like there's a sense of like having been criticized, because I feel like I was even in the energy of like laughing at, I mean, I laugh at a lot of things, but I don't know, I feel like there's an energy coming through of like a harsh judgment. Maybe for some of you, I don't think this is relevant for everyone, but some of you, maybe you yourself as like a defense mechanism for your own sense of like fitting in or protection, you also made fun of yourself. So that was that energy of resonance perhaps you had as a child of like agreeing with those who would complain or cause issue with your communication. I'm going to bring in some healing sounds. I think there will be more messages, but I'm not seeing them yet. Okay. I wonder if you've been really rushed because the way that sound came out was really gentle. Okay, simple. Okay. Yeah, the energy I'm being put in to bring through for you is very warm, very peaceful and gentle. So it makes me presume that there was more harshness or more fiery energy than this, which feels so soothing, so peaceful, very motherly, gentle, not critical or pointing at any specifics, just very, very holding of whatever is in the space. A feeling of someone you can really fall into and be hugged by, be held by. Okay, for the majority of you, I'm going to end the reading there. Some of you might want to stay in this state. But I will clear this and I think I'll get more. Some of you might also, if you felt like that really resonated with you, you might want to re-listen to that like when you feel When you feel like it, I guess that's a simple simple expression. Perhaps perhaps specifically when you feel like it's hard for you to express, or when you're feeling it's like a push and pull feeling, whereas the energy that was being brought through was very stabilizing. There could be something about catching up or caught up. Yeah, so it was that one, caught up, not catching up. Maybe something has caught up with you. Yeah, okay. I like this energy a lot more for you than before. It felt like I was very much stressed. I guess I'll say that. But it's a feeling of like only when I'm in this peace with you do I see. I guess it's not fully at peace here, but it's a feeling of like recognizing the truth more, which feels more peaceful. And being in this energy feels like you're really seeing how maybe how much less peace you came from. It's not a feeling of my speech necessarily being like a lot easier suddenly, but there's more compassion here, and I feel like that is helping me feel more comfortable speaking in this energy. Like, even though I'm still noting that I'm quite like blocky, or just like it's hard to speak still. There's love for that, or with that in this energy, which is the energy I feel like you're called into, which is, I don't feel like pointing at anything, because I feel like that's what you had that caused this difficulty of being critiqued, yeah. Some of you, this is something that your parents also experienced, and it might be harder for you to see how your parents critiqued you, but easier to see how they themselves have this same struggle. Others of you, it's easier for you just to see plainly how your caregivers had certain expectations of how you should communicate. Oh, I need to sneeze. Oh no. I did like the, it's almost there, and then it went a little, then almost there, then went a little, then almost there, and then went completely. Okay, but crown chakra wanted to be shown, and that's when I wanted to sneeze. This could have to do with belief systems. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. It does feel, I think this isn't the message, but what I'm first getting from this is the feeling of drawing down, or like a similar energy to what I was doing before, and that drawing in more of a compassion, loving, parental energy through. To bring in like a surrendered allowance of yourself to be But I feel like this is also speaking to something more specific. Maybe for each of you it's specific. I don't know what other words to use there. Crown. It feels so fitting, and this energy feels... it feels emotional, but it feels also like, depending on those of you watching, for some of you it feels like you find it hard to fully allow yourself to feel, like you get a wave of like that releasing and the clarity of the difficulty you've experienced and processing of that emotional response that you had towards that, the pain that came from being shut down in some way. It's like it comes in a wave and then it kind of is hard to get at again. And there's a feeling of just allowing yourself to continue to drop without needing to force yourself to find the truth. And simply feeling what does come up. Maybe for some of you, as soon as you feel an emotion, it's like your mind turns on and then you look at the emotion. So even if it's like a yay, I'm processing, it's still like getting back into your head of going, yay, this is good. Which may be a lot of what you experienced in childhood, of needing to analyze one's emotions, or needing to like not experience through the senses, but experience through logic, or like through certain things, which means you need to be aware of what those certain things are, which I feel like in this case took you out of the feelings. So when you notice yourself getting back into like less in the feeling of the processing, it feels like just a matter of reminding yourself that it is okay to feel without fully seeing. Okay, I'm gonna get a couple more of these cards, and then I think that might be it for your reading. There's something about like remembering that you're pile 2 that brought this, the same card again. That brought, oh, but I think I had it upside down before. I had. Interesting. I think at least I'm saying this is upright now. Remembering that you were pile 2 brought somewhat of like a clarity. And I think that has to do with remembering who you are. Remembering who you are is what brings the change. I think there's a simple message for you of, you know what will like trigger emotions in you, and so simply looking at that allows you to process more. Maybe you often feel like you need to run from your feelings, as opposed, like we said again, like if you feel like you need to act more rationally, this is drawing you into how the things that trigger you aren't things that you need to run from, but things that you can allow yourself to understand and process the unprocessed feelings, which feels like it leads you to more lightness, more of what you're seeking. And with that, I'm starting to like sway the upper half of my body left to right. Like an inner child feeling. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because this is feeling like it is processing the emotions of the inner child that was hurt, that was rejected, and that clears the way for, you know, the inner child to be happy. Okay, yeah, that's where I end your reading. I love you, pal number 2. I'll see you in another if I do, or I'll see you in the essence of hugs and embraces, if not. I just got a little bit of an energy. I don't know if I like that I said that. I will change that to, I'll see you in the essence of, you know what? No, I love hugs and embraces. But maybe that word embraces is what I'm not liking here. I think it's you guys. Maybe some of you don't like that. Maybe that is another thing to wonder about. Oh, that really just like ended on a note. I don't. But this isn't everyone also. But I also feel like I've said that one too many times to be happy about. Could that be here in this energy too? Okay, I'm actually gonna leave. Bye. Don't care about saying nothing now. I care about saying everything. Leaf. Let's put your leaf on the big leaf. Yeah, be held. A hug. Maybe that really is something. Really? Yes. Maybe there really is something about that for you. Oh, why am I doing this? I don't know if I like that. It's literally like being held. I wonder if you weren't held much or at all as a child, and that's why there's a discomfort around that. If that is the case for you. Or I really want to eat that now. It looks like a tasty job of, like, not quite lettuce, but like a cross between lettuce, kale, cabbage. Actually, it just looks like cabbage. I had another thing to say, another comparison though. Oh, spinach. Maybe that was the other one. Okie dokie. Actually, I'm gonna chuck this out the window. The window of... I was gonna... immediately what came to mind was the window of love. But then I had resistance to saying that, and I think that's in your energy. / I know. No, I think. I think I maybe slightly know. Like N-O. Yeah. Well, throwing things is fun. Especially when you're not expecting it to go very far, and then it does. Okay, pile 3. Bye-bye, pile 2. Bye. Pull up my trousers. Pull up me good, but pull up... it's a very good song. But it's not even by Spasmate. I think it's his... It's an alternate artist account. I don't remember what he's called. Maybe it's called Pull Up Me Good. That that song, and I don't know the artist, but that's frustrating me. Not frustrating, it's just making... I think there's like dissociation in pile 2. I'm just wanting to... Maybe this is pile 3. Feels like a combo. Gumball machine. Skibbity-doo-doo. Welcome in, pal 3. I wonder if there's a lot of sadness here. Suddenly I feel quite defeated. Okay. Let's put your leaf up in the top left. I think there's something that you don't want in some sense, because when I picked this from the floor, I didn't want it, but I picked it, something along those lines, and then I even accidentally dropped it and needed to pick it back up again. Okay, let's get some animal cards going around the field, not the block, the field. Windows in homes or apartment buildings could be significant. Maybe cities or busy pedestrians, busy places with many pedestrians. Or busy pedestrians, maybe the pedestrians are all busy. A lot in their calendars. Okay, we have lion and gnat. Ah! Moving stag, yeah, stag. Yes, I was quite getting a sense of releasing. And panda. Okay, that's enough animal cards. Back of the deck is spider. I feel like you feel on a roll in some way. Like a roll of Nutella. Oh, I'm being drawn to like Nutella sandwiches, but like specifically on like white bread, white uncrusted bread. That's not even what was like my pleasure in childhood, but there's something about that, like a slickness. Personally, I used to like crusts. Is that this energy? Because I'm expressing it like it is. I'm just gonna say that again in new ways then, or the same way, but again. That you like crusts, but maybe you were dealing with not crusts. Okay, at the back of the deck is heart. I'm hearing like heart radio. I haven't thought of that for a while. Yeah, both that brings me back to childhood too. Ooh, very like surreally, very a lot. Okay. There's a feeling of free flow, but that being tailored to you in a way that maybe you hadn't experienced in the past. I feel like you're allowing yourself to dive into something that you didn't think that you'd be able to, or not to the degree that you have allowed yourself to. I think that you're far more open than the energy you're portraying yourself to be in, or you've been in a little bit of like a glump before the lightness, and maybe you've forgotten that you can be light, or it's a feeling of like you had turned yourself off in some way, and now you're remembering that you're far lighter than you thought you were. There's an unexpectedness to this, and I feel like I feel like the moment you try and work things out, or like do things the way you don't really want to be doing them, that's when difficulty comes in, because I'm channeling in a way where I don't actually know what I'm about to say, but I'm just saying it, which is different to my usual style, which is more of like, it's more logical, or it's more like, to me it's more like a skill. But the one I'm using now is just easier. It's a sense of like letting the reins go and just seeing what flows out. It's less attached. It's less to do with me, and it's more whatever wants to come through. There's something about you feeling like you're in your element, but like realizing that you are in your element and not having to question yourself so much and feeling the like repercussions of that and seeing how respected that part of you is. There's a sense that you're able to share more of what you really resonate with when you allow yourself to fall into your own arms or fall into your natural way of being or into that like I'm seeing Nutella toast now. I was trying to say the Nutella the favorite way instead of the way that was maybe pushed on you. Toast though. Yeah, it's like I'm remembering that later on in life I don't even know if this is true, but it's coming through. I became more of a Nutella toast kind of person. And there's a feeling of finding your own way and that being different from the rest, or maybe particularly different from your family. I think you're allowing yourself to shoot off in some way, to kind of get catapulted out, or catapulted in. Catapulted. Because this doesn't feel like a small energy shift. It feels like a small perspective shift, because it's not even a small perspective shift. It's literally like you had loads of like buttoned up parts of yourself, and just taking the final button off then like unleashes all that was already like ready to be released. That didn't fully flow, but I think it clicked some things for some of you. There's a feeling of like knowing your center and allowing yourself to drop the facade that you're not that. I think a lot of you tend to fall into collective energies or energies that you almost feel like you need to attach to just because they prop up within, or like briefly within you, or just they prop up, but you feel like that is showing you that you have more to work through. I think you might be one who likes to work through things, and having the awareness that a simple no is all that you need to do to energies that you're not wanting. I think that clarity changes a lot for you, because it enables you to not feel like there is a problem, when I think that maybe a lot of problems get presented to you and maybe you feel a responsibility for that you're now realizing is not really yours, or just it's a way of handling it. It's a feeling of recognizing that there's power and there is a sense of stability and like a grounded like pillar energy that comes from recognizing the value in your present energy. And I think you're really changing up the way you view your present energy, because I think that it's far cleaner or far less burdened than you kept feeling it to be, because you kept being like gifted with burdens that you're like, oh okay, so I work through this or work through this, but really it was just learning to say no. And for a lot of you, I was seeing that very energetically so, or emotionally so, like realizing, for example, on a full moon, if you're feeling really bogged down, realizing, oh wait, actually I'm just picking up on the collective's energy, this isn't actually how I feel about my present life or about anything. that sort of like no, or it doesn't even need to be a no, but there's like a clarity that comes from stepping back and like recognizing that you don't resonate with something. That brings you into a strong sense of like pillar energy, of being able to recognize that which you're being presented with, and then deciding if that is you or not, or if that is for you or not, in more of a concise way, than I think you're used to. Some of you, I was getting an image of like a circle being presented to you, and ordinarily you'll walk all the way around the circle to like look at what it is, and then you'll be like, okay, no. And maybe that was a great skill that you learned to do, to really get deeper into that which you're connecting with. But I think that what you're being brought more into is an essence of seeing the circle and having an initial knowing of what that circle was, and then trusting that knowing, trusting that it is a no, or maybe it is a yes. But I think for you, there's not even a need to question when it's a yes. It's just an immediate like processing, or an immediate like doing, whatever this is like entails for you. I think that if for you there is a question, that's usually a good tell that it's a no, or it's a that's not mine. Yeah, there's a feeling of letting go of burdens which weren't yours, or a continual understanding, clarity on that which doesn't resonate. There's a strong sense of authority I get from this pile. I'm going to take a drink of water. I just felt one of my hairs like grip my hoodie, and because I moved a bit, it tugged off. It pulled the hair off of my scalp. Okay, there's something about off of, not just off, but off of, which feels like this in some way of like, it doesn't fully resonate. And you're recognizing that. You're recognizing, I think, for some of you it's quite specific, but for others of you it's the realm of like collective energy, or the realm of energies which just aren't yours, which just don't need to be where you operate. I think you're returning to a much simpler way of life, of living. Yes, the very start was that thing, that the leaf that just wasn't yours. You didn't want it, and it's like it might keep presenting itself to you, but you can continue to discard it if it's not resonating. Whoa, I'm getting an image of like until, all it's like not until, it's more like that births the connection with what is true for you and your present energy, that which reflects your true energy. When you let go of attaching to that which isn't your present energy, it's like I was basically shown like this leaf, but in like a really like succulent, full, like glowing, massive version. Okay. I have like a great chickpea card in this, the great chickpea, but instead it's the great oak leaf. I feel like I want to show you that card to correlate the energies. Feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to wait. I might end up skipping over it anyway. There we go. Yeah, that felt significant just because I had said I'll skip over it. I might skip over it, but yeah, I feel like even like that feeling of like, it doesn't have to be like a huge decision, or it doesn't feel like it takes too much out of you to stepping into this. I kind of lost the trail then, but it's a feeling of when you say no, that's when it emerges. That's when the greatness, it's a very enlightening feeling, or divine feeling, soulful, like soul expanded, or Yeah, I'll say greatness. A great feeling. A great feeling, like a wonderful one. Actually, I think that's where I'm going to leave your reading. Pile 3. Bye. But there might be a pile 3.5. But it will be after I have discarded that. I heard so many cool words then, but not fully. Well, I heard despicable fully. But I heard words like apple and then a few others. Like apple, like a few others of the beginning apple. Apple, like apple. Ding ding ding. Ooh, that one floated quite far away. I'm wanting to say like away and around the corner. Around the bend. Bendy corner. Ooh, if all corners could bend, that would be cool. Maybe they do. Maybe everything is straight and bends are just like bends in our own eyesight and bodies. Actually, I'm not feeling like getting a card, but that one wants to pop out. Okay, I'll think of it. I'll remember it. Yeah, this is the feeling. It's like grabbing the card and then like basically immediately going, okay, the fact that I'm looking at it outside of myself means that it's not mine. It's like if the cards will fall out, that's mine, and I don't even need to question if that's a card for the reading or not. It's like it pulls out. But if they're just poking out and I have to be like, oh, is that? Then it's a no. I'm just questioning, do I end the reading there? Because it feels ended. But I just got into more happiness. So I was wondering, shall we continue or not? But I feel like ending it. I'll just be happy on my own instead. See ya. Okay, yeah, really see you. See, yeah, of the sea. Like the ocean.